hottest station is now live for your enjoyment with host iamBranded.
All right, Shirley, let's go ahead and get it started. This is Charles Madison along with Danielle Denaya-Carroll of Nexxlegacy Radio, and I'm a fan, so I'm excited to be able to have conversation with someone who literally still, her records still play on our station, and I was a fan before I even, dug up my radio station and things like that. Everybody knows Nights Over Egypt and everything else that comes with, a lot of the hits, Who Did I Run To? But to have Shirley Jones of the Jones Girls on Nexxlegacy is historic. So, Shirley, what's up, dear? Welcome to the station.
Oh, yes, thank you. Glad to be here.
Listen, I'm a fan, so I just want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity for this interview. But deeper than that, thank you for a lot of the music that you and the Jones Girls have given us over, multiple years and things like that. Gave us a lot of good memories with the music and all that stuff. And I just remember listening to it. My mama listened to it, so then I did, and I took on a like and a love for just the flow and flavor of the group. And I just got to thank you. I'm over here, cheesing right now. I got Shirley Jones. Oh, my God.
Well, you're very welcome. Very welcome. You're very welcome. And it's been a great year. I've been celebrating, starting in Germany, UK, and the rest of this year I'm booked celebrating 46 years since the release of the first Jones Girls album. So, we've been around a minute. My sisters they're no longer around, but I'm out here keeping the legacy going.
I clearly see that. I see that on social media. I see that throughout the things that you're doing as far as not just the bookings and things like that. But I'm going to take it back, though, because, where you started, I feel like it's important for people to recognize and realize. I feel like a lot of people in 2025 and beyond just, know some of the core history, but, the origin basically came Detroit, Michigan, and just how things started with, not just Philadelphia International Records and some of the other ones, RCA or whatnot, but I mean, how was the moments of getting those hits and realizing that, what, this is, we're creating something special right now. A lot of memories you could dig back and just remember it's real classic moments, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But we started out as background singers for my mom, may she rest in peace, who was the first black gospel singer to sign with RCA Records. They signed her before I was born to the label the same day that they signed Little Richard. So wow. My mom, all credit goes to my mother, who was not only an excellent, very popular gospel singer, but she knew voices, and she trained our voices and taught us that harmony, how to harmonize, how to pull back when, one voice might have been sticking out a little bit. She always trained us and taught us how to create the harmonies that my sisters and I had, that a lot of people say is some of the most exquisite, beautiful harmonies ever. So,
beautiful.
Kudos.
That's beautiful. and Shirley, to add on top of that, just, doing things in your mom's memory, she taught you, but you still have to have that voice. And, we all know, religious or not, I mean, it's God-given right there to be able to have that, and to have your mom be able to nurture that too, because you don't hear that too often with, not just parents, but just people in general, seeing what you have and just wanting to, okay, you know what, I see something special with these Jones Girls. Let me see if I can be able to give my expertise and level it up. So that's a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most kids back in the day when we were coming up, they could stay out and play till the street lights came on. My mom, we could stay out and play until she decided it was time to rehearse, which was just about every single day. And she would call us in, hey, girls, let's get in here. It's time to practice. We practice, because we were her background singers first. And she was a very popular gospel singer in that Chicago, Detroit, Ohio region. So we were always traveling with her. and being from Detroit, we would be on programs and shows with the Winans and the Clark sisters back in the day because we were all friends. Yeah.
Did you ever feel like, because you mentioned like, everybody was playing till the street lights came on. I remember those days. Did you ever have like, did you ever have those moments where you're like, dang, I do want to go out and play, but, you were just so like, focused on, what you was doing being a background singer that you didn't really trip too much about playing?
As we grew older, we did because we started becoming popular as teenagers, young teenagers. Well, I was 13. Valerie and Brenda weren't quite teenagers yet, but we started doing TV shows and signing with little local record companies and had a couple of little local hits out before we came to the attention of Motown and Holland Dozier Holland. And then they just took a gamble on us, had us do background for some of their artists like Frida Payne and the Honeycombs. So as we started making a little money and getting a little popular, we didn't care about staying out playing. We got to the point, my mother nurtured us, and we got to the point where, hey, we wanted to rehearse and
that's what's up.
Getting better. Yeah.
And Shirley, I love that to hear you say that because, sometimes when you're young, you don't really recognize or realize like what you're really experiencing until, maybe it's later on in life or in the years or whatever. But I feel like it's real cool to hear you say that because sometimes like at an early age, you recognize like, oh, this can be big, not just the money that we make, but you love to be able to like sing. And to me, that's an extension of paying it forward to the fans. Cause if the fans are the people who love you singing, then it just, it comes from a different kind of place when you get that kind of acceptance about how you're singing things. Right.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what's up. Shirley Jones is our guest on Nexxlegacy Radio. Janai, go ahead, throw a question.
Absolutely. Hello, Miss Shirley Jones. How are you?
I am just fine. How are you?
I am phenomenal. So the question that I have for you is that you guys created the original Who Can I Run To? So how does it feel to know that record still resonates with audience today? And so you made a timeless hit. What kind of feeling do you have to know that you made a timeless record?
I absolutely love it because Who Can I Run To happens to be my favorite Jones Girl song. And I tell my audiences that because I felt the lyrics, it was written for the Jones Girls by Charlie Boy Simmons, Frank Austin, and Richard Roebuck, two of whom are deceased. But they wrote that song for us, and from the moment they presented it to us, we're like, yes, we have to do that song. And that's one of the songs that I think I have my best vocal performance because the lyrics just make you really feel,
Yeah.
And so then that's when the Escape surprised me on a radio interview I was doing, and they said, we hope we did that song justice. And I told them, I said, you guys did a terrific job because our version came out in 1979. It was the B-side. Back in the day, they had A and B sides. It was the B-side to Who Can I Run To? And I mean, it was the B-side to You're Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else, which was a massive hit for us. And we did not want it to be the B-side because we felt that it was strong enough to be on its own. But of course, Kenny Gamble wanted the B-side. So with them redoing it 16 years later in 1995 and being so successful with it, it just gave credence to what we were trying to tell Gamble, that song should have been out.
Hey.
Right, I can't even.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine it being on the B-side. What? Are you kidding me? I remember the very first time I heard that record. I was at choir camp, and I heard this incredible artist singing. And I was like, what in the world is this? And and to know Yeah, it's actually the person that originally created it. Super dope. Yeah,
that's what's up. Nah, and Shirley, I think that a lot of, and I love that Escape paid it forward and just made sure they gave you your flowers and things like that. I think it's important for not just artists of the day, but people to just recognize like moments that in music that's just like so timeless. Because I mean, I threw Nights Over Egypt out there because that's just a groove that is just like no other. Like you could take any of the records that y'all made back in the day and still you can still vibe to it today in this day and age. Did y'all recognize that back in the day where not just Who Do I Run To, but just a lot of your other hits is like wow, we're making something real special for the people right now.
We did, and we actually. After You Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else was a massive hit. In fact, it was a gold record for us back then. It's now triple platinum or something like that. But we did. I mean, and one of the things that we always wanted to do, we had no idea 45 years later people were still going to be enamored and with our voices and with our music. Because we were making music, quality music. My mom taught us. Valerie was a perfectionist with the vocals. So we wanted to make sure that everything that we did was something that would inspire. We wouldn't, sing any kind of songs with any lyrics that we didn't feel were that we really didn't feel people should sing in lyrics. When we demanded that the music and the lyrics had to be something that was uplifting people and enlightening people. So that's one of the things that we drew from, being successful. We could command, songs that were presented to us were of a certain caliber that was going to just bring joy to somebody and put a smile on people's faces. That was our goal, and that's what my sisters and I often, when we would be creating backgrounds and creating harmonies and deciding how we were going to do a particular song, we always wanted to make sure we got to sing this so that somebody feels inspired, somebody feels uplifted. So that was our goal. We just didn't know it was going to be, 2 or 3 generations later. That's where people still feel joy.
Hey, Shirley. Hey, Shirley, have you ever had songs, though, that was given to you that you just wasn't feeling, like you just wasn't feeling it at the end of the day?
Exactly, yeah, a lot of them. Lot of them. And those songs are still in somebody's vault somewhere.
Listen, I love the fact that, you know what, hey, let me just keep it honest, like this is not gonna and to me, people fail to realize sometimes, Shirley, that music is not just, you're not just trying to make it to the best of your ability. Like it goes off pure emotion too, though. Like some of the songs that you got, you just can't conjure up that stuff. You just really got to be in the moment with a lot of these songs, and that's what makes good records at the end of the day, right?
Yes, that is exactly what makes good records, and that is what we learned a lot from being with Philly International and Gamble and Huff and their producers like McFadden and Whitehead and Dexter Wanzel. And we learned a lot from those guys because the music that they were writing about was not only socially conscious back in the day with the OG, Family Reunion, Wake Up Everybody, Teddy Penny, so that we loved the fact that they were writing the type of music that we had always wanted to do, which is not only socially conscious music, but music that enlightened people and uplifted people.
How do you feel about music today?
A lot of it is good, but a whole lot more is not music that I would do. But there's some singers out there that I just absolutely adore. I adore everything that they do. Lettucey is one of them. And Kim, and it's my girl Mary J. I like, I love her. And who else? It's just quite a few of them out there. But a lot of this gangster rap and all this stuff and these lyrics are a bit much for me, and my son tells me all the time, okay, Ma, you have to just get to the 21st century. And I said, no, I said quality of music, quality of music, I don't have to like this stuff. I don't have to like it because it's not what I would do, but, hey, if they're making money, they're doing their thing. But will we be playing that kind of music 20, 30 years from now? I don't think so.
Right. All right. I'm going to add on before Denai, you ask the question. I'm going to add on to what you're saying is not only I feel you 100%, like I feel like how many, like as you get older, like you're in your 40s or 50s and you still can't have that gangster mentality or whatever. Somewhere along the line in your music, you have to evolve, meaning you have to grow up. Like you have to grow up and grow out of what you were talking about. I get it if you're making a statement like NWA did and things like that or whatever, but as you get older, where has the maturity gone with the lyrics? Or why are you trying to cater to something that you don't even do no more? You might be a grandparent, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Like, how does that work? How does that work?
That's when they find us, and I get people emailing me, texting me every day. Oh my God, I mean, I just heard this song and Googled you all. It's either Nights Over Egypt, and oh my God, the music back then, your voices. I said, hey, welcome to the 70s and 80s when all we were concentrating on was music that made people smile, made people feel like, yes, this is my situation. Yes, this is just so relaxing. Nights Over Egypt has been, I guess it's been sampled and done so many different times that young and old, people are into that song. And I'm just blessed and honored to have been a part of it because Brenda and I didn't even want to do the song. It's
really?
Oh, no, we didn't want to do that song because it was on our third album, which will be 45 years old next year. Nights Over Egypt will be 45 years old next year. And we had just come off of You're Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else, I Just Love the Man, and Dance Turned to a Romance, and Who Can I Run To? We had just come off of those on the previous album. Those were big hits for us. And we felt that Nights Over Egypt was too jazzy, Brenda and I. And Valerie, my younger sister, who was born with perfect pitch, she said, oh, no. And she says, oh, no, we're doing this song. And Valerie was the quiet one. She never said anything. So when she said, we're doing this song, everybody said, okay, we're doing the song, we're doing it. And we sat and had a meeting, the five of us, me, Brenda, Valerie, Dexter Wanzel, and Cynthia Biggs, the writers and producers. And we were saying, okay, since the music is so beautiful, the music is so relaxing, the music is so serene, we wanted to make sure that what we did to the song complemented that. And that's when we decided that there were going to be no leads, because I'm primarily the lead singer. There was going to be no step outs, but we wanted the unisons and the harmonies to be the song's lead voice. And I tell you, it has worked. It was, people tell me all the time the song is just one of the most, this guy just posted that it's one of the greatest songs in the history of music. And a lot of people believe that. Jay-Z said that it's one of his favorite songs ever, which is, I'm just blessed and honored to have been a part of that. Especially
Shirley, there's a level, Shirley, of that, right? That song, that record. But, a lot of your hits is like that. But Nights Over Egypt, it's, from the either the bass lines or whatever to the the music to the voice, it's so, the melody is so, I guess it will put you in some kind of state, like a trance type of thing, in a good way. Like, it will zone you out where how can you not just vibe to it? Like, and the harmonies that goes with it. It's just a testament to just the talent. And for y'all giving it a chance, because like you said, you wasn't feeling it like that 100%, but I think everybody could agree that it's one of the greatest records out there ever. And Shirley Jones is our guest on Nexxlegacy Radio. Denai, go ahead.
I would definitely want to know that, being an African American woman in the 60s and 70s, what were some of the challenges you had to overcome when it came to being in the music industry?
Well, pretty much the same ones that we have to overcome today in music. A lot of men thinking that, women can't really cut it on them, a lot of sexism, and even more so back in the day, because the popularity of male groups was always more than female groups.
Right.
And that happens today, and I don't know why, but for some reason, and I guess it's because women, they do come out more to see men than they come out to see women, or men come out to see women. But yeah, mainly sexism, and that's one of the reasons why we learned the business, because when we learned the business of music, so that when we were sitting at these tables with our management team at the time, they weren't able to just put anything over on us, because one of the things we learned with Gamble and Huff was the business of music. And that's what I say to these young people today. Learn the business, so that, 45, 50 years later, like myself, you reap your rewards, and you make your money, and the business is basically taking care of you. So make sure make sure you learn the business of music. Make sure you learn contracts. Make sure you learn and value your worth, and make other people value you and your worth.
Absolutely.
I always believe that it's a thin line between how you conduct your business and how your portrayal is in regards to, like, not just keeping timeless music, but also making sure that, you can have it for yourself for generations on end. You hear the stories about, people needing to redo their music so they can be able to re-up it. And I don't know if you heard about this, but Salt and Pepper, after, all those times and records, the court says that they don't own those records, that somebody else does. But when you hear people, especially during, like, a very, like, to me, legacy moment in their career, if you've been in the business for 30 plus years, still trying to fight for certain things that you own, why do you feel like, one, that is, and to me, and two, I feel like at the end of the day, like, a record label or somebody should be like, you know what, I know this contract or these ownership or these masters was weird back then, but let me just do right by the situation, because it would make more sense. Everybody wins if you do it that way, in my opinion.
Yeah, but your record companies are going to do it. My attorney right now is fighting for all of our recapture for myself and my sister's heirs. They're grown children, because recapture is what a lot of people are doing now, in getting to own not only the masters but the intellectual property, which is our voice.
Yes,
exactly.
And there's a suit. We also are our voices were used in the Book of Clarence, so we're trying to get the movie that Jay-Z produced. They're working on getting us our just pay for that as well, because he had to pay the publishers in order to get the song, but they never paid us for our intellectual property, which is our voices that's on the song in the movie. Almost 3 minutes of the song during a dance scene. So that's why I say you have to know the business of music and know what is rightfully yours and yours to go after. So this recapture that was put into place with the law about 7 years ago, it's helping a lot of old school artists get the money that they deserve from their voices being on radio and all of these things that from back in the day, because we made pennies on the dollar back in the day for records. Right. So now this recapture, which is what we're doing. In fact, a lot of those letters just went out. I have a standing 2:00 meeting on Tuesdays with my attorney to make sure we get everything that's coming to us, and people are constantly telling me, oh yeah, they just used your song in this movie or this commercial, and every time I go right to my attorney and I said, okay, let's Google this and let's because people these promoters and producers and stuff, and even record companies from back in the day, they're not going to say, well, let me do right by you. I wish that would be nice if they did. But that's what attorneys are for, because I'm going to do right by me, and I'm going to make sure that my sister's heirs get theirs too. So
yeah. I don't know, Shirley. I'm naive because I always feel like this. I always think that everybody, like, to me, I would have a hell of a conscious, I just would feel terrible if something that you literally and your sisters worked so hard for, cried over, stayed up late nights, doing everything, and that can't be passed on to your kids or grandkids or whatnot. To me, I would feel personally weirded out by the fact that you could literally change the scope of how your generation eats and how they thrive based on everything that I mentioned. And to a person, I couldn't live with myself if I was just to let that go. And I get what you're saying, because record labels are sharks and they're just different. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
They will eat their own. That's why I'm so thankful to have learned the business. And we're going to get ours. A lot of people think that a lot of the artists are dead and gone, and a lot of them are. But I'm just so determined to keep the Jones Girls legacy, and then to make sure we get paid for all that hard work. People, so much preparation, so much in every song that we've done, be it background or whatever. My sisters and I, we just believed in perfecting that harmony, making sure that record was going to be of the highest quality that it could be. And I'm determined to make sure, and I have two grandkids now, and 2 and 7 years old, and I'm going to make sure that that they're taken care of, because the monies that we're talking about that we're getting ready to get is life-changing money that I'll be able to leave for them, for my son and for my grandbabies.
Wow. I love it.
The same for my sisters, for Valerie's son, and then Brenda has 2 daughters.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I love the fact that you're still fighting for the future. And to me, I think that's a testament to not just who you are and how you want to make sure you stand on your efforts and work towards that. But I just really believe that people got to keep fighting this fight every day, because nobody's not going to give it to you. Like you mentioned earlier, you got to literally work towards it, and you have to, find different ways where it's going to make sense to make sure that you pass them on. If you have kids, grandkids or not, I think it's important to leave a legacy that you can be proud of, and your music and your legacy has done that. So my question to you, Shirley, and Shirley's our guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, with all the hits that you have and have had and still putting work out there. Y'all didn't do this back in the 70s for the gram, but here we are, Instagram and social media, here we go. How do you feel about it? And, how long did it take you to realize that, okay, I guess I need to be on social media?
I I didn't realize my son is the one.
Did they really? Okay.
Yeah, Cam's like, Mom, you got to be on social media. So he set me up. This was during the pandemic, I think. And, and I still don't really learn. A lot of times he's running my Facebook and my Instagram page because I don't do, he posts stuff. Mom, we need to post this. We need to do this. We need to do that to get more followers. We need to do this. And so he's done a really good job. Now I've learned a little myself, and I do a lot of the posting myself now.
All right.
But he basically runs it, and he's the one that tells me, okay, Mom, we need to do this, we need to do that, with different pictures, with different friends and artists. Okay, we got to post that, Mom. We have to let people know that you're out here, that you're busy. I said, okay, Cam, whatever, let's do it. So that's what he
I love it.
Shout out to Cam too. He's a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like love that guy.
Yeah.
Now and Shirley, I love the fact that you're like, you know what, I'm posting now too. I got this. Cam showed me how to do it, but if I gotta go live on the gram, I could do it for the people out there that love you. So I love it.
Yeah. And in fact, he and my nephew and I are talking about once I slow down, we're creating a podcast for next year, because next year will be the 45th year for Nights Over Egypt, and we're creating a podcast for next year where we're going to be talking about not only that song and the songs on that album, but I'm very socially aware as far as politics. We're going to be incorporating that into it. So we've got somebody helping us, and we're going to be kicking it off sometime in January of next year.
I love it. Not good.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then you talked about how you're socially aware. How important do you think it is for artists to be socially aware, especially in this time? Oh,
God, yes. I mean, you just can't sit back with this administration that we have right now, that is just, robbing the United States blind. And I am just so frustrated with the American people for even, I can't even believe this, first of all, that he's back in there. And like the younger generation, they did exactly what they wanted them to do, and that is become disinterested in politics, and to the point where so many young people were telling me, "Oh, it doesn't matter anyway, so I'm just not going to vote."
Exactly.
But I mean, it's amazing to me how gullible these young people are, because they fell right into what this administration wanted, was them not to vote, or a lot of them to even vote for him, because bacon and eggs were too high,
Yeah.
And now bacon and eggs is even higher, along with everything else.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's just, and I tell Cam all the time, and his friends, because they all had to vote. They were mad at me, a lot of them, but I said, listen, I will come pick you up and vote.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
My young generation, they all had to vote. Or if I told them, I said, don't talk to me if you're not going to vote. Don't ask me to sign no records or talk to any of your friends, because you have to vote. So they all voted. All Cam, all his buddies and everything. Because we don't want to hear Auntie Shirley's mouth. And I said, good. Go vote. If you need me to go with you, fine.
That's right. And Shirley, I'm gonna keep
really got to do this in 2026, so that at least we can get a check on this man. Because right now there's absolutely no checks on him whatsoever, and he is robbing the country blind, and he's taking everything from I grew up with there's so much racism and hatred I never dreamed that my grandbabies would be in a situation that was worse than we had it back in the day when Martin Luther King and those people were marching for us to get to us. And now all of this stuff is being rolled back, and I'm determined that I'm just not going to let that happen. So I'm a part of the Democratic Party and everything else because we've got to get a check on this man.
Yeah,
or America will be done. It won't be the same. It really won't be the same if we don't get a check on him in 2026.
That's right. And Shirley, I'm gonna keep it all the way real on Nexxlegacy. Is that not only are you 100% right? Like I feel like the young people, and I get this from people that I've talked to, and doctors, that in hospitals and things like that. Like we don't have enough inventors. We don't have enough real politicians, people that is young enough to really just let me put in the work so I can become this. They're trying to find escape routes that's a lot easier to further on their career path, and they don't look towards putting in the kind of work that it takes. We need more lawyers. We need more doctors. We need more nurses. We need more inventors. When was the last time, Shirley, you heard about somebody inventing something that wasn't an app? You get what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's the truth. So, I feel you 100%.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go. Shirley's our guest on Nexxlegacy Radio. And Denai, go ahead, throw one more question before I throw one final one back to this young lady.
Absolutely. So with all of the amazing things that you have done, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want the legacy to be that the Jones Girls were all about love. We were all about love. We're all about uplifting people. I tell my audiences all the time during Do You Get Enough Love, I tell them sometimes, your smile can be changed. It can change somebody's life. Your smile might be making somebody's day. So simply smile at one another. And I tell my audiences, I want you to leave here tonight with a smile on your face. And I hope that, the performance and the show you just saw leaves you walking out of here with a smile on your face and joy in your heart. Because that's what we were all about, just seeing people smile, seeing people uplifted and enlightened.
Absolutely.
I love it. And final, Shirley, to me, I always feel like, you grab the roots and the history of what you've done and accomplished, and your sisters and everything else that you're doing, still working now. So, it's one question I'm going to have is, if people want to hit you up, they can hit your Instagram up, or they could hit specific things if they want to book you for anything future in terms of events, right?
Yes, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I'm Shirley Jones of the Jones Girls. My website is shirleyjonesgirl.com. And you can hit me up and follow me. And I do a lot of my own response back to people. So hit me up. And I'm here in Atlanta along with my girl Melba Moore and Climax August 30th. And then we're taking that out on the road for the rest of the year. We're going to be in 19 different cities. So we'll be coming to a city near you soon.
There you go. And finally, you've had such an influential career path throughout your music journey and things like that. And I know a lot of it started in the 70s, surged through the 80s, and here we are in 2025. So I'm gonna ask you, what was your favorite and best decade in terms of music and moments?
The best decade was the 80s, because our first album the album itself came out in 1980. You're Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else came out in August of 1979. So I would have to say the 80s was jam, and that was the period where you had the OJs, Teddy Pendergrass, Patti LaBelle, Confunction, Sister Sledge. I mean, just grooving music, that was real soul R&B. The best time for R&B, in my opinion, was the 80s.
Bands were winning back in the day, Shirley. Bands was that thing back in the 80s, too, though. You had it all.
Yes.
LTD, I mean, you name it, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Listen, come on.
Heat Wave, the Shy Lights. It was so many of us back then.
Come on, you said it. And lastly, if you were to take, like, anything fashion from the 80s and bring it to 2025, what do you think would work that you would still rock to this day, Shirley? What you got in the 80s as far as fashion?
Oh man, we were known for our fashion, and I still am. Bell bottoms.
All right.
I love them. I got several pair, but of course they're 2025 designs. But
there you go.
Yes, with a nice sharp top, a nice slick top, and my bell bottoms, even though the ones I have now have pearls around them and studs on them.
Cute. Yes.
That's one fashion item that I love from the 80s.
Get it, Shirley. Get it. Look. I'm over here smiling, cheesing on top of everything. So listen, I got to tell you that it has been a thrill and a half to be able to have not just this dialogue with you, but I appreciate that you were still doing amazing things as the face of the Jones Girls, and continue to keep doing what you're doing. And we go, as a station, your music's already playing. That's no biggie. That will continue to do what we do, but we're going to find other ways to pay it forward and to make sure that we honor your legacy and everything that you accomplished, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you both so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Look out for I've gone Southern Soul. I got a Southern Soul record called Good Stuff that's coming out in the first week of September.
Yeah.
All right. I wanna do it like the old school, Shirley, and break those records for the first time. Get it on the air and celebrate it. So, you can definitely come back and we celebrate with us as we spin your music, that's breaking news. I still love those moments where you hear it for the first time on the station. So let's do that.
All right, sounds like a plan. Cam, you know how to get in touch with me. Cam has all my information, and I will make sure, because it's coming out the first week, I'll make sure you get it before it comes out.
Love it. I appreciate you, sir. I love Shirley. Ooh, I love you, girl. I love you.
Well, thank
Shirley.
You both so much. Love you back.
All right, we'll be in touch. That is the legendary, I'll say it again, the legendary Shirley of the Jones Girls right here on Nexxlegacy Radio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.
Nexxlegacy Radio.